Hello everybody, hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I will share you the main things and the factorization of class 10 chapter. The important chapter of factorization I will discuss briefly. I will not solve, but the topics I will discuss about the chapter factorization. So see the board. So factorization. Okay, so we know that fx equals to a0 x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1 x to the power n minus 1 plus a2 x to the power n minus 2 plus etc. etc. Last term will be an. Okay, an. So what is n? Fx is a polynomial. This n, the highest power of x is called degree. And a0 x to the power n, a1 x to the power n minus 1. These are the terms. These are the terms, and an equal to called constant terms, and a0 x to the power n is called leading term, and a0, a1, a2, etc., etc., an. These are the coefficients of x. Coefficients of x of fx. Okay. So mainly these are the polynomial, and we have discussed about the polynomial of this. Okay. So fx equals to a0 x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1 plus a2 x to the power n minus 2 plus an minus 1x plus an a0 x to the power n, a1 x to the power n minus 1, etc. These are the terms, and an is called constant terms, and n is called the degree of the highest power of a0 x to the power n is called a leading term, a0, a1, a2, etc., etc., an are all the coefficients of x of fx. Okay. So about the division algorithm. Division algorithm of polynomials. Algorithm for polynomials. So what is division algorithm? If fx and gx are two polynomial, then fx is divided by gx, then there exists a unique function which is qx, and the another function remainder which is rx exists. Then division algorithm says that fx equals to gx qx plus rx. So what the theorem says that if fx is a polynomial and gx is a polynomial and fx is divided by gx, then there exists a unique polynomials qx and rx such that fx equals to gx into qx plus rx. Then fx is called dividend, gx is called divisor, qx is called quotient, rx is called remainder. So fx equals to gx, qx plus rx. Fx is called dividend, gx is called divisor, qx is quotient, rx is remainder. Okay, this is the division algorithm for polynomials. Clear? Okay, now I will rub it. Okay, next is factor of a polynomial. Factor of a polynomial. What is factor of a polynomial? Two polynomials fx and gx. A non-zero polynomial gx is divided, is non-zero polynomial gx a non-zero polynomial gx is a factor of fx if and only if rx equals to 0. So, a non-zero polynomial gx, this is a gx is non-zero polynomial, and gx is a factor of fx if and only if fx dividing fx by gx remainder is 0. Remainder is 0. So if gx is a non-zero polynomial, then gx is called factor of fx. Both are non-zero polynomial, gx and fx. Then gx is called factor of fx if and only if dividing fx by gx. If you divide fx by gx, then the remainder will be 0. If remainder will be 0, then we can say that gx is a factor of fx. Okay, clear? Now we will discuss root of a polynomial. Root of a polynomial equation. Root of a polynomial equation. Suppose fx equals to 0 and fx is a polynomial and alpha is a real number, and they are saying that alpha is a root of the polynomial, then obviously if alpha equals to 0, then we can say that alpha is a root of the polynomial. So fx equals to 0, where fx we know that a0 x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1 plus an minus 1 x plus an. Alpha is a root of the polynomial fx equals to 0 if and only if alpha equals to 0. That is a0 alpha to the power n plus a1 alpha to the power n minus 1 plus etc. n equals to 0. So what is root of a polynomial equation? If fx, let fx equals to 0, where fx we know that a0 x to the power n, a1 plus a1 x to the power n minus 1 plus dot plus a minus 1 x plus a, where alpha is a real number and alpha is a root of the polynomial if of fx equals to 0, that is if and only if alpha equals to 0, that is if and only if a0 alpha to the power n plus a1 alpha to the power n minus 1 plus etc. plus an equals to 0. So then we can say that alpha is a root of the polynomial. Okay. Next I will discuss remainder theorem. So what is remainder theorem? Remainder theorem. What is remainder theorem? If a polynomial fx is divided by x minus alpha, then remainder equals to f alpha. So what is remainder theorem? If a polynomial fx obviously non-zero polynomial, if it is divided by x minus alpha, alpha is a real number, then remainder will be f alpha. So that is the remainder theorem. Okay. We will discuss factor theorem. What is factor theorem? If fx is a polynomial and alpha is a real number, then x minus alpha is a factor if and only if alpha equals to 0. Okay. So what is factor theorem? If fx is a polynomial, obviously it is a non-zero polynomial and alpha is a real number. Then x minus alpha is a factor if and only if alpha equals to 0. There is a converse part also, the vice versa also. So then we can say that if and only if alpha equal to 0. That is the factor theorem. Okay. Remainder theorem, factor theorem, root of a polynomial, division algorithm, factor of a polynomial, and what is polynomial. So first of all, factorization, when you have to know the factorization, the things are you have to know that what is polynomial and what is the degree that you have to know. Another thing is that division algorithm you have to know, factor of a polynomial you have to know, remainder theorem you have to know, root of a polynomial that you have to know, and factor theorem that you have to know. If you know this part, then you can do easily all the sums of factorization. Okay, so I have discussed so many things. I have not done the problem. If you need the problem solution, I have done all the solutions of ML Agarwal. If you need the solutions, then you can comment me. I can give you extra one YouTube channel. In the YouTube channel, I will give you extra class. So no need to worry about this. You can do easily the sums. You have to know these theorems and these topics. Then you can do the easily solutions. Okay. I hope all of you clear. Thank you everybody. Thank you everyone.